Welcome to the lake. I don't know if you can hear that, but the geese are angry. I'm sitting on what used to be a retaining wall. What you should take note of is where this is now and where the yard is now. This portion of the yard has had a serious erosion issue. So before the water came back up, I needed to take care of some problems. This particular area was done a couple of years ago. You'll see the video of that being done, but I had to replenish the riprap on from everything that's behind the camera right now. So that's what this video is about, is maintaining your property on the lake if you get exposed to erosion. And that's caused by waves, storms, and just the rise and fall of the lake itself. So stay tuned and thank you for watching. And the geese are quiet now. It's about time they behaved. We have two segments of the yard that are impacted by erosion differently. One section has a sandy base, and a lot of the shoreline has been eroded away. To save my yard, I had a guy come in with a barge, and he offloaded 2 barge loads of Class C riprap. Because the other portion of the yard wasn't eroding quite as fast, a few years later, I came in and I purchased 5 tons of Class A riprap, carried that back to the yard myself, and spread that through the top layer of the existing riprap. I had lawn and soil exposed above the riprap. All I did is I went in and put another layer on top of the existing riprap and built it out just a little further in some spots. But overall, it's a great investment, and it's something I needed to do really for a couple of years. Larger stone, proper layering, and coverage matter. This is one of those upgrades you don't see every day, but you feel it every season. It's an investment for long-term protection, not a quick fix. After the riprap, the shoreline is much more stable and it's protected. Waves hit the rocks and not the soil. Less erosion, less maintenance, and more peace of mind. It blends into the natural look while doing some serious work. This is one of those upgrades you appreciate the most during heavy storms. The big takeaway: waterfront living isn't just about the view, it's about managing nature. If your shoreline sees wave action, protection isn't optimal. I want to leave you a couple closing thoughts as I wrap up the video. There's a lot of variables with what I just showed you. And I'm going to go through a few things that just come to memory in no particular order. But if you're out there purchasing a house or just purchase a house that's on the lake, pay attention, at least take note of the shoreline. If you're in a protective cove, and if the people that are on east side of you don't have a lot of riprap down or don't have any riprap down, then you'll probably be okay. That's the way it was in our previous house. We were in a cove, didn't get a lot of wave action, didn't get a lot of boats, didn't get a lot, so having a sandy beach was no big deal. Here, it's not possible because of the prevailing winds and the waves we get. So pay attention to that. If you're looking at property on the lake, pay attention to the shoreline, because if you do have to put riprap down, it can be very costly. If you're going to pay somebody to do it, or those rocks are heavy, it can be pretty labor intensive if you're going to do it yourself. So that's one thing. Coves are definitely easier. If you're starting from scratch, if you're building a house or whatever, or you got a house that you want to put some riprap down, then you're probably better off to put an underlayment down prior to putting the riprap down. That's just another layer of protection where that water, that wave action is not actually going to get to the dirt. You've got a layer that's underneath the rocks, a layer between the rocks and your soil or whatever that's underneath. So I would definitely consider that. It's going to cost you more, but in the long run, your shoreline is going to be much more stable. On that same note, if you're putting it in, like here on Lake Murray, if you build a house, I am like 90 I'm very confident that if you have built a house, you got to get a permit to put you got to put riprap down. Like for me, what I did, the riprap was already there. I'm just replenishing it. So I didn't have to get any kind of permits. But if you're doing it, if somebody was doing it here on a managed lake, like Dominion Energy manages this lake, you're putting something new in the lake. And by that, I mean the rocks. So you've got to get a permit. And I'm sure that's going to cost a little bit. But anyway, I hope this video has been helpful for you. Definitely managing your shoreline is something that's really important. You don't want to lose it. You pay good money for it. You don't want it to see it just get washed away in a storm. So, check that out. And if you have any comments or questions, please leave them in the comments down below. I greatly appreciate your time if you watched it this far. Thanks very much for stopping by the channel. God bless America. Be safe and take care.